Hello and welcome. In this video I will cover three sections. First section, it will be about just installing the Manjaro Linux operating system. The second is going to be about software and update. The other is going to be customizing desktop. Okay, let's start by looking for gparted, this utility I will use to partition my hard drive. The password is Manjaro, all lowercase. But let's start by creating a partition table. You can choose just default or choose one of the list if you know one, but I'll just go with default. I usually create 4 partitions, and that's the maximum primary partition you can have on your computer. So either you can go to partition new or just right click and then new. The first partition I usually use is for boot. The first partition I give it 1 GB and I use FAT32. Second partition I use it for swap. I usually give it 8 GB. Depends about how much RAM you have, but you can give it 8192. That's basically 8 GB in megabytes, and choose Linux swap for the file system. Now we have 2 primary partition. Let's create the other one. It's going to be the root directory. I mean, you can give it, depends about your hard drive. Usually give it 35 GB, and that's 35840. And then make sure to choose file system ext4. Okay, the last, whatever left over, I use this for the home directory. So you can, if you have a home directory, you can restore it. So this is the main partitions that you'll ever need. Now just save the change to the disk. It will be formatted. Then just close. You can see what you did if you want details. But next we will set the flags to the bootloader or to the boot partition. Basically you can manage flag from a partition or just right click on it and then manage partition. So I just use boot and then ESP. You can select these flags and then just close it because see, it's already great. You can't save anything, so it's you can just close it, and then we can go back to, you can either quit from the menu or close, doesn't matter. Now we go back and then we can launch the installer from this window. And Manjaro system, it's just minimize this. Okay, now it will automatically detect where you are. If it doesn't, just select where you are. Then choose your keyboard. For me, I'm using US. And then in this section partition, you can choose manual partitioning. So now we can just edit. So this, for this one, I will mount it to boot partition. You can format it if you want, or it doesn't, since the hard drive is fresh, but it will be formatted automatically after you start the installation. This has already been selected for Linux swap. You can format it if that make you feel better, but you don't have to. You already formatted from the. And for the root, just use /. That's the main, like this is where main software and operating system gets installed. And I will mount the last one to home directory. So you can either double click on them or highlight or select and then click edit. Next, here you can type your username, your password, so you can use to log in. And next, Here it will give you an overview of what's going to be done to your hard drive. Installs. Okay, so the installation started, so it may take a few minutes. I'll pause the video and come back. Okay, welcome back. It's done. The installation is done, so I'm gonna just reboot into my system, log out, shut down the computer, remove the media, and then I will boot into the system. Okay, welcome back. We boot now in our installation. Now we can just, the first thing we need to do, we need to update our system. There is a command that you can run using sudo. So zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm typing. This is an Arch-based Linux, so we use pacman. I usually, because I am so used to Debian, I start with apps always, but please forgive me for that. So you can use sudo pacman syu, and then this basically updates and yes to everything. I will just type enter for yes, or you can type Y if you want, but since Y is default, if you enter yes, it will automatically select it. This will take a little bit. As you can see now, it just gets in the keys and checking, and now it detects what it's going to download. 400 megabytes is going to be about 2 gig of updates, but the net update is going to be only 80 megabytes. Okay, I'll speed up the video and come back. As you can see here, you see since the update is installed, you can see the icon are disappeared, and they come back. So they are actually removing things that. So let me just. Okay, as you can see, things happen automatically, and things gonna be messed up really bad. As you can see, the date is not really looking good. See our current kernel. You can see it's 5.4.6. Basically, in the updates, it will put a new one for us. I believe the new one is gonna be, I think, 5.4.14, I believe, or something like that. So it's a big jump. Okay, so as you can see, this operating system I installed, it has nothing in it. It doesn't even have Firefox. I installed like bare minimum, so only the essential tools have been installed. There's nothing in it. It's lightweight. I like it this way. So I will install a few software such as Firefox, Chromium, and for for development I use VS Code. When we reboot in our system, we will well, I think I will just select them now and install them before we reboot. It doesn't matter since the updates has been already. I can just select a few of them. I will just you can enable the Arch user repository. I will enable it later, but not now. But for now, just look for Chromium. As you can see, it's not installed. I just check mark the install, so it will install. I will look for Firefox. First, let's look for VS Code, and I will mark it to be installed. Next, we will look for Firefox, and then we can mark it for installation. I will just use the default, which is just, I won't add anything, only dependencies that's added that you have to install. So I am using the bare minimum basically. Okay, well, since this is being installed, let's just see if we have Python. because I use this programming language. Yeah, it's installed by default, which is great, and its latest version 3.8.1, and you can see PHP is not installed. But I usually use something that has, you know, like XAMPP, or but I don't use XAMPP. I use it on Windows when I have to use Windows, but in Linux I use Bitnami, lamp stack. Okay, so let's see how much space has been used. As you can see, it's only about 5 to 6 gigabytes has been used in disk space. It's installed everything for us, which is a little bit. It still have a lot in the cache, so but that's what you have, only about 5 for the whole system. That's pretty good actually. As you can see, the resource usage, the only thing that is using a lot is PAMAC and a GNOME shell. That's the highest, and they're not using that much, so they are in single digits. Okay, so let's just clear. The installation is still going on. Let's see what we can do waiting for the installation. Let's see if Node.js is installed. No, it's not. That's important. I use npm and for developing JavaScript and for JavaScript basically. So look for Node.js, and you can see the latest version is 13.7. Bleeding edge technology on basically the latest software you get them if you have like Arch based Linux. That's why I like it. For this one I choose npm because when I install Node I choose npm. That's probably the main reason I install Node. Download and install lamp stack from Bitnami. And if you just go to your browser and search for Bitnami or just lamp, then enter, and it will take you to the website. So you choose, I think I will just choose the first installer and Docker. You can see this is LAMP, which is basically Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP. It's a bundle. You can use different one. There are popular one is XAMPP, but I like this one because I don't have to install it as a root. So I don't like using root at all. Running roots only for updates, things that you must. But for software like this, that they are not in the Arch repository or user repository AUR, I will not install them using root. So keep in mind that if you launch something with root, there's all kind of problems with it. It could have a security problem that you don't know or nobody knows. So I would recommend just not using root only for updates and installing software from from Arch or for PAMAC or Pacman. That's the only ones I use sudo for it, like super user. Okay, now we will enable AUR or Arch user repository. Type your password and then go to AUR and then enable. I don't use any keep build package in cache or anything, just I enable it and close it. That's it, because I need the package from there. Let me first install the, if you are familiar with Debian, it's kind of like build essential. Basically it has all these softwares that it's used to build like G++ or GC compilers, all that. So in Manjaro, it's, or Arch-based Linux, it's called, you can install it by typing sudo pacman-s space then base devel, or the base development basically, and then enter, then follow the steps. This will take a few minutes. As you can see, the date is messed up, so I will after the updates everything should work fine, because now we're actually updating everything. The packages I'm looking for, I think it's called libinfo.so. That's 5. I know it's because when I ran LAMP, it's complained about that, and I don't know. It has a name like N-Course or N-Cures. I forgot. I know it's a problem. It's known. I know it for a long time. Everybody I think know it. That's why I go through the same steps as I do. Let me see. Hopefully somebody mentioned it in this post. Okay, I think I see it. It's right there. It's NCUR. Let me just copy it, and we're interested in the 5 version, so let me just paste it here. NCURSES5, and it's in AUR. So as you can see, there's a bunch of them, but I'll just choose the first one. I'll just filter it, add in a 5. So okay, so I'll just build. So it needs to be built. That's why I installed that build base devel. So we can now run the build, since we have the compilers and everything. And then apply. Download is finished. Let me show you something that you don't really need to use terminal. Okay, you're a Windows user. For example, to run a software that you download, especially the one that's installed without a root, so make sure. Okay, let's go, and since it's being installed, let's just try to install it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. That's okay. Right click, property, and then permission, and then allow executing the file as a program. Okay, the installation, it requires us to trust on the import because it's not in the main repository, so it's AUR, so you need to import the keys. It hasn't officially adopted by the mainstream Arch based distros. Application is for this, so when I double click, so you see it hasn't been installed. If I double click and then try to install it, you will find out about the problems I'm talking about. So it starts, it's the installation for Bitnami, it's starting, and here is the problem. You see, MySQL require a library that was not found in your system, and that lib something info, and that's actually the one that the reason that I enable this AUR. There is a workaway around this, like a hack that you create a symlink to another library. I don't like that. I want something to work out of the box, and no hacks, no nothing. Okay, after the installation, you can see now we shouldn't see that problem. It launched directly, so it's found that library. I'm gonna just stick with default. But you can finish the installation on your own. I will stop right here and just move on to the next section. Welcome back. On this section, we will change the look and feel of the Manjaro based system. So this is out of the box. Looks great. I like it. It's really nice. But what I want to do, I want to change it so that looks like Windows. It looks like people that's coming from the Windows. They feel at home. Um, let me just check the kernel. As you can see, the kernel has been updated. 5.4.14. That's the new one. I usually download the icons. I really like icons that's different than these ones. Okay, so let's just now look for the El Capitan. This is the one that's actually, I like this icon. I use them all the time. And they are decent, so different than and they give you how to install them. So basically install them in your home directory. If you have you backed up your home directory, so you don't need to do these steps and download them, so you can just restore your home directory. Here I will create a hidden directory. The hidden directory starts with a dot, so I'm gonna call it dot icons. And notice when I hit enter, it's nothing there. It's like I didn't create it, but it's there. It's just hidden. So if I copy that command cd home icon, you can see that I cd into it. So I will just change the name of the folder. I'll just call it El Capitan. No, just Capitan by itself without La or L or whatever. So I will copy the repository. I will clone it to Capitan directory in my .icon folder in my home directory. The repository has been cloned and everything looks great. Now we need to look for tweak tools. Also, I don't use the extension. Whatever comes with Manjaro is more than enough to customize desktop the way you want. Do not download the extension. If you don't see it, you can just search for it. Go to menu and then type tweak, and then you can see it showing up. It looks like a foot. Okay, so here you can change. Go to appearance, and then the theme that I really like on by default is called this one, Adwaita. I don't know, dark. This is the one I really like, and that's the one I use all the time. For the icon, I will just choose Capitan. That's the one I use. So we have a lot, but I don't think that I liked any so far. Hopefully they come up with something beautiful and they will just forget about even downloading anything from the internet. As you can see, we're making progress now. The icon has changed. This duck to dash, it comes by default, which is great. You don't have to go to download it, and you can either shift this left menu to the bottom or top or right, wherever you want it. Now it looks a little bit like Windows, right? But not so much. Honestly, I don't use this menu at all. There are two menus, one in the bottom and one at the top. Two menus are too many for me. I will just use one. But you just make it look like Windows. So you can experiment with this, look around either a panel or look at the Mac. You can just make it smaller. This now looks like a Mac if you like Mac. You can use if you touch it, it will hide. If you use intelligent hide, so if you have like a big window, this thing just disappear, which is great. I like it. Basically just experiment. So you're not gonna just remember what you did, and then or take screenshot and then see how it was, and then how it was now. So if you really don't like what you did, you can always reverse back. Okay, just close. And I'm gonna go to extension and then -2 panel. That's the one. I'm gonna just make that into a panel. See, now they're overlapped. They look very ugly. I'm gonna just turn off the -2 DAC. So turn it off, and you know it disappears. Now it looks a little bit like Windows 10. It looks like just like Windows. You can start with addition to just show application menu. I'm gonna right click and then change background. So you can choose some of the pictures that I downloaded earlier. See the new they used to show up automatically if you have them in your pictures, but now you can add each one. You can just basically have a folder called like a wallpaper or something, instead of having them in a, since they are not showing up there, I'm gonna just create wallpaper or WP and then move them all there, because I don't want them in the, so I can have more things, not more pictures there instead of this ones on the. Okay, now we can just add a picture and we go there and just add the one that we really want. You can add whatever pictures you like, which is great. I'll just choose something a little bit yeah, this one looks good. This one also looks good. I will use this one, this 26. Okay, I like that one. Okay, now you can choose one for the, see, you can just click on it, not right, just left click, and then you can see it, the background. Then you see it changed. That's great. This for when your computer locked or asleep, you can wake it up, you go there. Let's see which one I can use. Maybe, yeah, this one looks good, like a matrix kind of picture. I use that for set as locked screen, set lock. Okay, I can just close from here. Now we have this, it looks really dark. Honestly, I don't like it. I need to change the opacity so I will see what's in behind. So go back to your tweak tools, go to extensions, then go to -2 panel, and then if you look around you will find so you can I just want to hide this completely. Panel. Okay, let's see, if you go to style, Yeah, you can see that you can change the way it looks. Override panel theme, background opacity. That's what we're looking for. See, this 40% opacity to show what's behind this. This is great. You can either increase or decrease, either type it or use the plus and minus menu. This actually looks perfect. I like it this way. As you can see, you can change almost anything about your computer, and you have full control. Plus, it's free and beautiful. And if you spend some time and make your Windows looks like this, your PC looks like this, it's gonna be like Windows. You're not gonna feel like you're on Linux. As I said earlier, you can just click on things. You don't have to go to terminal and type, only if you have to. And it should be easy, like the updates if you want to, but also I don't recommend updating. Do not update after every day. Update, let's see, once a week or every 15 days. Do not update every single. Just when you install it, run the updates, and try not to update, and search actually in YouTube and see what people say about updating Arch-based Linux, because you already have the latest technologies. Okay, since I will go to my download and just delete everything here, just like Windows selects everything, shift and then delete, and then it doesn't go even to the trash, it goes straight outside the whole thing. Okay, so I think I covered everything. If you have any questions, appreciate it if you ask in the comment section. And I think with that being said, I think I'll wrap up this video. It's been a long video, and hopefully this will change your mind about using Windows and try using Linux, whatever distribution you will like. It's much better than others. Well, thanks again, and have a wonderful day, and see you in the next video. Bye.